Hello world, I'm Johnny Little Toe, and we are doing something a little bit different today. So, I have recently been working on something called Ethereum mining. And if you don't know what that is, let's go back a little bit to the year 2009, or something like that. Now, what you might have heard of is Bitcoin. If not, Bitcoin is an online currency, essentially. So, completely electronic. It has a value that goes up and down like any other currency. It's not typically officially recognized as a currency, but it. Whoa, what? Uh, excuse me. Um, I'll explain why that's happening now, or shortly here. Anyway, so you can buy and sell items. Some physical shops take it, but primarily it's online stores where you can use Bitcoin to buy things. And over time, Bitcoin was kind of the original idea and is kind of the central currency to several other crypto coins, such as Ethereum. So, how this all works is like so. So, right now I have this running. This is taking up all of my GPU outside of what's being used to make this video, which may be why up to this point, the video may have been a little bit choppy, and I kind of wanted to show you this, what it kind of looks like to make Ethereum. So that is what I am doing here, is I am mining Ethereum, which is just going through, my computer is going through a bunch of algorithms and trying to figure certain things out. And once it does, it creates Ethereum. It gets rewarded with Ethereum. So there's two aspects to Ethereum mining that, like what I'm doing. So my computer is first making sure that transactions, so whenever I send someone Ethereum or someone sends it to me, it makes sure that they are, no, I don't. Don't show this message again. Shoo. Anyway, it makes sure that the transactions are authenticated and valid and all that good stuff. So, it all is based on a hash system. So the more hash per second I can do, the more money I make, and the better video card that you have, the more you can hash. So my card normally runs, when not impeded by other programs, at about 29 mega hash per second. That makes me about $40 per month. Now I have another machine that is dedicated to this that has three graphics cards running at the same time, and all it does is mine. It's a Linux-based operating system, so that was nice and cheap. But you might, if you could hear fans in the background, that's what that is. It heats my room up to a nice balmy 31 degrees, so it's got its drawbacks, but mostly because I don't have a dedicated room to actually run it. Anyway, so I'm just going to close this. This isn't giving any more information, and we'll be able to do a little bit more. Good, that didn't crash my graphics card. That does happen sometimes, if I do it wrong. And that is the thing, is if you want to get into this, there's several complications. It can be a little bit difficult to find information, which is partly why I'm making this video. On that note, I have started adding down in the comment section donation box of Ethereum and Bitcoin, because hey, why not? It would be awesome to get anything in. And maybe eventually I'll have a place where I can store my miner and not be incredibly hot all the time. Anywho, so I am mining these Ethereum, and then I am sticking them into a coin exchange. So this is the coin exchange I use, Quadriga CX. There will also be a link down in the description below. if you want to check it out yourself. Now, this allows me to buy and sell cryptocurrency. So you can see what I have up top. This one specifically works in Bitcoin and Ethereum. So as I mentioned before, Bitcoin is kind of the central currency. All currencies tend to be converted into Bitcoin before being used because Bitcoin is far more accepted generally. But I can... Now, if I go into Canadian Ethereum, if you're not aware, I am Canadian, I can see that people have been outbidding me on my buy order, so I am going to deal with that. Remove my order. Come on. Yeah. This usually isn't a problem, but it does get finicky from time to time. Oh, it took it, just didn't set my price. Let's be 5.6. Let's try that. Click the... Okay, so when you click the amount that you have, it's supposed to autofill. I don't know why it's being so finicky. Probably because I'm recording and, you know, Murphy's Law. Oh, come on. It's a really useful system, I swear. Okay, well, let's say point... No. I need 1... Nope, that's a 2. 1.41. Should be roughly 5 and 9. Oh, nope. I'm 3. That's close. 2, 8. Okay, let's just put in that buy order. So, I am now buying Ethereum at a price that is less than what I paid for it down here. I'm not shy. You can see what is happening to my 250 bucks. At any time, I can withdraw to my bank account or add more funds. Yeah, it's great. Ethereum has been booming lately. So when I started like a couple of weeks ago, it was at 120. It is now reached a high today. Up in the upper left, you can see 190, and that's cool. But because of that, I try to keep my money in Ethereum so that it accumulates. What's the term? It gets to be worth more. So that's great. I just wish I had have invested like $10,000 in it before it started going up. Oh well. So, that is the trading platform. Moving back a little bit, I want to explain, because this is pretty simple. I kind of wanted to get this out of the way for that reason. But mining. Mining is super interesting. So there are two ways to mine, essentially. There's pool mining and solo mining. Solo mining, predictably, is taking your machine, downloading the blocks of information that you need to process to make Ethereum, and then just your machine works on it, and eventually it completes a section, verifies everything it needs to, and sends it back, gets paid. I believe it's about 5 Ethereum per, but if you don't have a high hash rate, it can be a very long time, like well over a month before you get paid anything. Now, pool mining takes that concept and distributes the work among like hundreds of people, thousands of machines, all working to make more Ethereum. I use ethermine.org. So I got into this partly because on their home screen they have instructions on how to set it up. It looks complicated, and it can be, particularly if you use Linux. It can get far more complicated if you're not comfortable with the typical added complications of Linux. Like, if you use it just for day-to-day stuff because it's a cheap operating system, you probably don't know how the details on how to make this work, such as myself. It took me probably about 2 hours to find this information for my Windows PC, and then like half an hour to set up. With Ethereum, it took me... I mean, I already knew where the information was generally, but to find the right information took forever. Basically because Linux is not very widely used. Yeah, it was a mess. Oh, so many hours. However, I mean, it's making me about... actually, it says over here. So if I go to my payouts, at my current hash rate and everything said and done, it makes about $304 per month, which is worth it. Like, the amount of time I put into it, I of course had to buy the parts, which are expensive, but it'll pay itself off in about 3 months, and then it's pure profit. Well worth my time. The maintenance is actually pretty simple once you get it running. You just have to make sure that you're watching for if it dies or not, and then getting it working again if it does. Yeah, it's very simple once you get it started. And there are options out there such as operating systems specifically made for mining, which can make the process a lot easier if you're willing to put forward the money to actually use them. So I'm not going to get into too many details. I don't know how interested you guys are in mining, but if I do get some feedback on, like, the nitty-gritty of mining, I will totally make a video trying to explain how to get both Windows and Linux set up. I've never recorded on Linux before, but I've got 3 graphics cards in there. I'm sure as far as power goes, I'm fine. But yes, that is kind of the bare bones basics of cryptocurrencies, just to get us started. So, yeah, anything you want to know, I'd love to answer questions that I might have come across. I have had so many problems with this. But the thing about problems is once you've gone through them, you know how to deal with them. So I would love to be your guys' resource to help get you going. Yeah, I'll stick a bunch of links if you want to do your own self investigation into this. It's really hot in here. It's hard to think. It's hard to do a recording when you can't think properly. But yeah, I'll put in links in the description for your pleasure and profit, and then I'll take questions, and if I start seeing things that come up a lot, I will totally make another more detailed step-by-step video. I just want to know what you guys want to see. Aside from that, though, I will also be trying to make a few more gaming videos. I'm contemplating doing stories a little bit again. I'm still contemplating what I would talk about in, like, a vlog. But one way or another, thanks for watching. I have been your host, as always, Johnny Littletoe. And I will see you next time. Oh, this is a little bit messy. I haven't set OBS Studio up yet, so I don't have all my shortcuts. But yeah, see you.